Welcome, my name is Luann Pygott. Hello, I'm right here. I don't have my makeup on today because I just did a morning skincare video, so I've got my skincare on. But I am cooking lunch, or Sunday lunch today. I did church online, church just ended, so I did that today. You know, I have two elderly parents with underlying health conditions, so I am avoiding crowds as much as possible for their sake. And this is what I'm making today. Look. Chicken and spinach pasta bake. I have never made this before. New recipe I found online. That's actually sideways. Look at that. Oh, it looks so good. So it has spinach in it. I actually like spinach when it's mixed in something. I don't like it by itself, but if it's mixed in something like this. Now, if you don't like spinach, you can probably just leave it out. But I've got most of this stuff ready here. And I'm going to go ahead and mix this up. So it asks, so I'm only halving this recipe because it's for me and Mom only. And we're not allowed to go visit Dad in the nursing home right now because it's shut down. So it's just the two of us, so I'm halving everything. So I'm going to, I'll tell you the whole recipe. It's 8 ounces of rigatoni noodles. You can get whatever kind you want. You can even get somebody says they use the low carb one. Yeah, you can use low carb one. This is just regular old rigatoni. And this is 16 ounces, so you need half this box. I actually used a quarter of this box since I'm doing it in half. So 8 ounces, and you cook it according to the package. And that's what's steaming over there in that pot is this rigatoni. It's almost done. Then you need a tablespoon of oil. And you put a tablespoon of oil. This is what it tells you. Put a tablespoon of oil in a baking dish. It says an 11 by 7. It's a little smaller than a 9 by 13. 11 by 7 baking dish, and you put a tablespoon of oil, and you put 1 cup of chopped onion, and then you bake it at 375 for 15 minutes. Now, I've already done that. Now, remember, this is only half of that amount. So this is my baking dish. This is my onion. You can saute it on the stove, too, but I'm just following the directions. So I cooked this onion in the oven, in the oil, for 15 minutes. And then it says to take and put this in a large bowl. Now, I'm going to use this bowl because I'm only having this recipe. I don't need that large a bowl. So it says put the onion in the bowl. So I'm putting the onion in the bowl. This is like pre-cooked onion then. Got a little browning on this pan, but I don't think it'll hurt anything. I might rinse that out a little bit though, because I don't want it to like burn. And don't you? I don't want it to burn on. You know, it's really easy to put out. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the little brown spots out of this pan. I'm going to let that drain a minute. Okay, and then I'm going to add a touch of oil back in. It doesn't tell you to do that, but since I just washed it out. And I'm using coconut oil. It says olive oil, but olive oil, they say olive oil isn't as healthy for you when it's heated. That means my pasta's done. So they say to use coconut oil. So I'm using coconut oil. And then I'm going to take my pasta right here, and I'm going to drain it over here in the sink. Oh yeah. Pretty. Nice and plump. Alright, so I'm going to put that. Let's just leave this pan over here. Then let's say what it says to do. It says, I cooked my chicken last night. I went ahead and cooked it. I baked it. And then I shredded it. It says cubed chicken, but I usually just shred chicken. You can cube it if you want. So there's my chicken. Again, if you would rather put, you know, like hamburger or something, you could probably put other stuff in there or leave the meat out. Then it says, let's see, I baked the onion, drain the chopped spinach. Okay, you take a 10-ounce frozen package of chopped spinach and you thaw it, which I just put it in the refrigerator overnight. Actually, I had it in the refrigerator a couple nights. This takes a while for it to thaw. And then you squeeze it in paper towels to get the water out, or you just have stuff that's too runny. So I did that, and again, this is only half the package since I'm just making half. So this is in the paper towel. So you just like take it out of the paper towel where they got out all that extra liquid, and you're going to put it in there. I'm actually, before I do that, before I put that in, this has a long string of spinach right there. I don't want that. What I'm going to do here, I'm also cooking some squash on the stove. That I wasn't going to add squash since this already has vegetable in it, but I saw the squash in the store and it was kind of still green. If you want the best tasting, most tender yellow squash you've ever had, get some that has a little green left in it, and oh my goodness. See how there's, I don't know if you can tell, like around the inside edge, there's just a little touch of green, and that's just butter and onion and salt and pepper. And it just means it's fresh and it's not old squash, and it's so tender. It is so good. Okay, so that's just over there sauteing. Then I'm going to add, it tells you to add, let's see, where'd I put it? I hidden it from myself. Oh, I got something on top of it. Okay, this is not, you can get the name brand if you want, but I get this is cheaper. Cream cheese spread with chive and onion. So this is an 8-ounce package of cream cheese spread, chive and onion, and the recipe calls for the whole package, but I'm making half a recipe, so I'm using half the package. I've never put this in anything before. Ooh, gonna be good. Okay, it's gonna be a creamy thing here. Okay, so let me get a spoon, I suppose. And we're going to get half this out of here. And I want this to kind of melt. That's why I'm putting it in first. And then I'm going to put, oh yeah, that worked perfectly. Then I'm going to put the rigatoni that's steaming hot on top of this. Because I don't want one big lump of this, you know, I want that to melt. So I'm putting it on top of the hot onion. Oops, I got stuff jumping out of my refrigerator. Yep, everything jumping out. Then I'm going to put this hot rigatoni on top of it. All cooked. Drain the water off. Here we go. That's 4 ounces. Normally you'll have double this if you're making the whole recipe. I know I'm saying that 8,000 times, but I don't want people to forget. Don't forget that I'm only making half. Okay, so there's that one. I'm actually going to use this little spoon and try to break up this cheese spread. It doesn't really specifically tell you how to do this, but I'm kind of just figuring you need to get this hot. I did have it sitting out for about an hour or something, so it wasn't quite as cold. I don't want it impossible to stir, you know, you're going to want that even. Yeah, it warms pretty well. Stirs me well, I'd say. Okay, so then I'm going to put this package, or it's actually in my case half a package of spinach. Again, if you don't like spinach, just don't put it in. You could probably put that squash in there if you wanted a vegetable, or peas, or, you know, you could put some other vegetable in it, or none. Put whatever you want in it. But I really, like I said, I like spinach in stuff like this. Because you don't just taste spinach. Spinach by itself to me is a little bitter. And I wouldn't eat like just plain old spinach. But mixed in with something, it's pretty good. Especially if you mix it with creamy stuff like this. This looks like it's going to be really good. I have never had it, but since it's a brand new recipe. But it looks so good, and the stuff in it, that one's wanting to escape. Get back over here. Okay, see, I still got a lump of spinach there I'm trying to break up. You don't want one big bite of spinach either. I want that all mixed, so I'm just kind of breaking the spinach up. And, you know, when you squeeze it out in a paper towel, it gets really tightly compacted. And so you gotta like stir it a bit to break that up. And like it's wrapping all around my spoon right now. Come on now, quit doing that. I have very clean hands. Very disinfected hands. Okay, still trying to break that up. Okay, I'm gonna still stir some more. Okay, so it says rigatoni, spinach, and then the chicken. You gotta have the chicken in there. So here's the pre-cooked chicken. Had this sitting out for a little tiny bit too, so it's not as ice cold. So that's a 1.5 cups of chicken. The recipe calls actually for 3 cups. So for half, it's a 1.5 cups. So you need 3 cups of cooked chicken. You can cook it however you want. You can buy the rotisserie chicken, you know, it's already cooked. That's really handy. You just have to pull it off the bone and everything. So if you'd rather do that, buy the canned chicken. You know, you can do whatever you want to get some chicken. Okay. Then we also need some, let's see, do I want to do that next? I'm going to go ahead and put salt and pepper in there. So it asks for half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of pepper. I'm going to do 1/4 teaspoon since I'm doing half. Oh, I got to stir this squash real quick. Hold on. We're getting down to where it's starting to brown it, which is what I want it to do. Caramelizes the squash a little bit if you get it to brown. So good. I'm just about getting to that spot. You can cover it and have it steam if you'd rather, but if you let it caramelize in that butter a little bit, it's sweeter. Okay, so we're going to put in, I'm going to kind of do a heaping 1/4 teaspoon of salt, because I always like more salt recipes than what they say. Little tiny bit more, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. If you wanted to add some cayenne pepper or some spice to that, you could probably do that too. A 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Usually you don't see recipes with the same amount of salt and pepper, but this one does. It's a little high in the pepper, so it's okay. If you don't like that much pepper, just don't put it. Okay, then we got one more ingredient here. Let me stir this around though, so we don't just have the salt and pepper on 10 little pieces of rigatoni. Stir this up pretty well. Still trying to break up some of this spinach. There we go. Then what it says to add is a can of Italian chopped tomatoes, diced tomatoes. Now, I found in the store it actually doesn't say Italian anymore on it that I could find. It says basil, garlic, and oregano. That's obviously Italian, and I prefer the petite diced. I don't like big hunks of tomatoes, and I'm going to do half a can because it's half a recipe. I want that liquid though. There we go. Let's get some more of that. And that, let's see what that looks like. So it's like an Italian. This is like an Italian dish a little bit here. Then we're going to top this with cheese. Oh yeah. Now it says mozzarella cheese, but I actually got the aged Italian blend, which has mozzarella, fontina, parmesan, and romano in it because I think it tastes better. It's got a lot more flavor. So there we go. There is there's our filling. Okay, so now let's take this pan. I think it'll still fit in this pan. We're gonna find out in a minute. If it doesn't, I guess I will transfer it. But I've been using this pan lately to make stuff for me and Mom because it's a good size. Let me stir my squash here again so we don't burn any parts of it. I'll flip that piece over if it'll let me. It doesn't want to. Patient won't to. There we go. Stir it a little bit more. Don't burn the onions, please. There we go. That sit there. I've got the oven on 375. That's what it says to bake it on. So here we go. What time is it anyway? A little after 12. I wanted to do this a little earlier, but I didn't make it. So just be a little later. Oh well. Mom isn't an early eater anyway, so this will probably work out best. So I'm going to spread this around. Trying to spread the ingredients evenly. Oh yeah, I think it'll fit in this pan pretty well. Come on, I need some more spinach over there. Get over there. There we go. You see, it is a little hard to get it even, isn't it? I think it'll be okay though. Just get you a scoop of it and you'll have all the ingredients. I'm trying to change it up here. Like all the noodles want to go to the outside edge. Quit that. Okay, there we go. They all seriously are at the outside edge. I guess it's because they're slippery. They slide to the outside. Okay, so there's that. Probably could use a smaller, deeper dish for this as well. Okay, so then it calls for, let's see, where is it? A cup and a half of the shredded mozzarella, but I'm doing half, so I only need half this bag because that's how much is in this bag. So for a full recipe, you do the whole bag. Half a recipe, half a bag. If you're like me and you just like extra cheese, you could probably still do the whole bag. Or 3/4 the bag, whatever you want. I like a lot of cheese. Let's make it real good, right? Oh yeah, we're gonna do this whole bag. Yeah, we are. Okay, that's double the cheese. But doesn't it look good? Oh yeah. Alright, then I'm going to put this in the oven. Okay, this is what you do. You bake it covered for 30 minutes, and then you uncover it and bake it for 15 more until bubbly. Okay, so I'm going to put some foil on to bake it covered for 30 minutes at 375. Then we will take off the foil and bake it for another 15 minutes. And I'm not going to put this on there tight. I'm just going to lay it like that, because otherwise it's hard to get that off in the oven when it's hot. Okay, in the oven we go for 30 minutes, and then 15 uncovered, 375. This foil's wanting to fly away. Get that in there. Hope that doesn't stick to the cheese too bad. Bow it in the middle a little bit. Ooh, this oven is like got a breeze going on in here. Yep, that worked. Okay, 30 minutes. Alright, and I will put a picture of that in the comments later, and I hope you enjoyed that little recipe. Again, here is what the final one will look like. Kind of got a glare, doesn't it? And there's the recipe. Found this online on a Facebook cooking group. So until later, may you have fun cooking something new. And later this afternoon, I'll come back and do my little ministry live where I read the Bible, give you my thoughts on some of the verses, and play the piano and sing. And I hope that's a blessing to you on Sunday. So if you didn't get to go to church today, you can come watch that later. And I hope you all have a good day, and goodbye.